not surprised.
I like this campus and not too fussed about transferring across to the city campus.
You've made a big mistake.
An education centre for over a century, the proud home of the old Monmouthshire Teacher Training Council, a Newport landmark. Caerleon campus carries all of these traits, but only till 2016. The University of South Wales took the decision in September 2014 to close the campus. Students aren't happy.
We all are quite sad about it because it's like we chose campus for a reason. Not so much, oh yeah, it's my course, let's do it. And to know that they're closing such a nice place is really depressing and sad. We chose it for a reason and now we're getting put to campuses which we don't really like and want to go to, which is just completely wrong. We could have gone to different unis. Although campus might not have been as nice as Caerleon, we would have been there and had the sustainability there.
I live in Chepstow, it's only half an hour away from Caerleon, and I'd have to probably pay more in petrol and everything, so it's just not a good idea for me.
Some are happy with the campus changes.
I've actually been down to the city campus now. I've actually found it's quite a good environment. The classrooms are good, the facilities are good, and because they're moving my particular department in which I work, they're having to set up things like new laboratories and new equipment because we've got very specific needs, and it's actually looking pretty good.
Many in Caerleon say there's been a hostile takeover and have accused USW of planning the closure as soon as the University of Wales, Newport and the University of Glamorgan merged together in April 2012.
I think the students would definitely see it that way, and I've actually heard those words said several times. I've actually heard the words hostile takeover mentioned a lot. I can see the reason why the merger was originally thought of. I can see the reason why the Welsh Government wanted, and even why the previous UWN or UOG would want it. I mean, in realistics, though, is it going to work? Has it worked so far? It's had its fair share of problems.
The University of South Wales say the cost to get Caerleon up to a modern standard is too much, with the university quoting a figure of £20 million. In October 2014, a Freedom of Information request revealed the figure to be only £7 million to upgrade the campus and its accommodation blocks. Is the move to close Caerleon financially motivated?
Have to sell it, otherwise why would they be shutting it down? It's kind of pointless, a pointless exercise.
This is not about the cost of repairing the campus and stuff. I think fundamentally this is about they have a black hole in their budget that they need to fill, and Caerleon's an expensive campus. It's an easy hit for them. I just don't see the evidence anyway for what they're saying. I think it's entirely financially motivated. In fact, we know Julie Lydon when she took over in Glamorgan and stuff like that. She is very much a figures person. It's not about the academic outcomes. It's not about widening access. It's entirely about making the books balance, and because of the black hole they've decided that the easiest way for them to fill that is close Caerleon.
Local provision for South East Wales is worse than it was 2 or 3 years ago. There's been cuts in adult education.
Is USW in debt?
Neither were fantastically off financially, hence the pressure from the Welsh Assembly to merge into one institution. Again, whether that was a good idea or not remains to be seen, and I'm sure there's a lot of people would give a controversial view on that. It wouldn't surprise me if USW's debt was higher than others.
Many around Caerleon have accused USW of asset stripping. Members of staff weren't willing to go on camera, but commented on pieces of artwork going for cleaning and never returning.
I have heard several rumours from random members of staff that certain expensive assets and sort of pieces of artwork, etc., have been removed and not returned. Again, I haven't seen any evidence of that, but then again, I haven't seen them back here.
When you merge universities, you do it to save money. Well, how were you ever going to save money if you weren't going to close a campus? You've got to ask what's actually been going on. What have there been lies from the very beginning? What have they not been telling us the whole truth about?
With all these allegations of asset stripping and hostile takeovers, makes us wonder if the university is actually listening to its students.
They definitely could have done some better work and employed some better tactics around that edge of things. However, recently we have seen, I know within the Students' Union, it's been involved in a lot more decision making, a lot more forums, etc. Student focus groups have been held more frequently. I still think that a lot more needs to be done, but I think they're starting to turn it around now. Hopefully it's not too little too late though.
Do you feel it's too little too late?
I mean, the only thing that will tell that is time, really.
When Newport and Glamorgan merged, students were promised USW would be bigger and better than ever. With the announced closure of Caerleon and the hosted accommodation agreement with London Docklands Academy falling through, USW are contracting, if anything.
How long have USW been around for now? 2 years, 2.5 years? That's 2 closures in 2.5 years. I mean, that's contracting to me, that's not expanding.
Just don't buy this argument that larger is better, and I think that merger was driven by that sort of psychology and then driven by the fact that you have to make savings.
The University of South Wales say Caerleon campus is not appealing to students. So we asked students if Caerleon campus isn't appealing to them.
I love this building.
Yeah.
I mean, the grounds are beautiful. It looks like a proper old school university.
Yeah, makes you feel like you're coming to university.
Every single student that I've spoken to that goes to Caerleon campus specifically chose Caerleon campus because of its surroundings, its location and the historical building.
Everyone wants it to stay. I've personally not heard one person saying, yes, get rid of it.
With Swansea University investing £450 million into a new campus on Swansea Bay, and USW investing money to improve Newport City campus and building Atrium 2B. Why can't the University of South Wales spend money on improving Caerleon campus?
Even if it does take the full 32 million, and that's an accurate figure, I mean, I'd like to know what they were spending all that money on, because it doesn't look like it needs 32 million's worth of work. But even if it is 32 million, I think that's, 32 million pounds of investment, not loss.
Despite facing closure, the students still remain positive. And Drew says the proposed closure of Caerleon has, if anything, brought the students closer together.
It really has united the campus, a sort of, not that there were any boundaries before as such, but different factions, different groups of people now have all just merged into one, sort of with a common goal, which is to save the campus.
After November's protest, USW announced they would keep the campus open another year to allow current second-year students to finish their courses.
As far as the keeping open another year, I would probably put that down to the students and them kicking up enough fuss. And obviously that was announced on the morning of said protest. I mean, it was a good decision, all right, it should have been, in my opinion, to keep the campus open full stop, but it was definitely a good decision to let people see out their courses here. Whether they did it, as I say, as a tactical thing to try and hush the students, I don't know.
With the closure of Caerleon campus edging nearer, what are the university's plans for the campus when the doors finally close?
We've been indicated that Taylor Wimpey has shown interest for an offer of about £21 million. There are questions about planning permissions and stuff like that.
Despite 2 weeks of persistence and patience, the University of South Wales declined an interview. They instead gave us a statement.
We want USW students to have the latest and best facilities on their campuses, and we think they deserve them. That's why the university is investing hugely in its student experience. We have looked carefully at where it makes most sense to focus for the future. The Board of Governors have unanimously decided that we will be concentrating our investment in Newport. This doesn't mean that current and former students don't have strong affection for Caerleon campus. They do, and we understand that.
But what would the people of Caerleon say to the University of South Wales?
Listen to your students, really, truly listen to them, not just from any one particular region, from all regions, but particularly if there's one issue, e.g. the campus closure, listen to the students from that campus, from that region, and number 2, act upon their views. Because at the end of the day, the students are the ones that matter. I don't matter, they don't matter, no one else matters. It is the students, the ones that pay to come here.
They have a duty as a Board of Governors to protect the assets of the university. How by selling Caerleon are they protecting assets for the long term? 2, how does this affect education? Because actually, it does not benefit education. All the evidence we have from students at the Atrium who have had to move there and students at Caerleon is that the Atrium is a worse learning experience than Caerleon, and so I think they've got that really wrong. And if they're not protecting the assets, if they're not looking after student outcomes, what is the real reason behind this? And I think they have to look really hard and ask themselves that question.